Hello everyone! Today, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite apps on the Mac, the Messages app. I really love the convenience of being able to do messages on my Mac. I could be doing several things like writing a paper or watching a TV show, and a message comes in, it's right there on my device. I don't have to go hunting for my phone or anything like that. Additionally, Messages on the Mac gives me some other unique possibilities as well. For instance, did you know that you can very easily copy an entire message and paste it somewhere else? An example is I run a website where I have to sometimes add an email address to various lists. And if somebody sends me the address via iMessage or text message, I can simply copy and paste. Voila! Very easy to do. I want to be able to show you how to fully make use of this. Now, before we actually get to messages, if you have an iPhone, there are a couple of little things that you will need to do in order to make sure that your messages sync across your devices. It is possible to not do these settings and you will have an interesting experience where some messages will come to your Mac and whatnot. I only recommend leaving these settings alone if, let's say, you want your Mac only tied to your iCloud and your phone tied to your phone number or something interesting like that. But if you do choose to fully integrate with your iPhone, you get the full range of both iMessages and text messages. Let's start by opening Messages, and you will find it on your dock. So we're going to do a VOD. VO is either Command and Control or the caps lock key, and then the letter D is in Delta.
Mail, 2 of 33.
So mine is currently pointed to Mail, and I'm going to just type in ME for Messages.
Messages, 3 of 33.
And I could have also right arrow to it, since it would have been the next thing on the screen no matter what. But now that I'm here, we're going to hit Enter.
Audio hijack. System audio. Window. Connection from Yeti. Messages.
And it's reading the last window whenever I hit Enter. That is just a slight annoyance that we have to deal with. Now, before we get playing with messages, let's do a command comma.
Preferences. General. Dialog. Setup name and photo sharing. Button.
So here we've got setup name and photo sharing. You know what? It's not the general I'm most interested in at the moment. Let's VO left.
Last. Dimmed. First. Dim name. Edit display image. Toolbar.
We want our toolbar, and we're going to interact with that.
In toolbar. To iMessage. Button.
And we got two categories
General,
here.
selected,
As
button.
you can hear, it's selected on General. I'm going to VO right.
iMessage. Button.
To iMessage, because that is the more important of the two tabs here. I'm going to VO space and uninteract. Uninteract is your shift and caps lock key.
Above toolbar.
And up arrow to interact is using your down arrow in combination with the other two keys.
Settings. Selected. Tab. 1 of 2.
And now we got two things here. We got a settings tab if I VO right.
Blocked. Tab.
And
2 of 2.
blocked. We're primarily concerned with the settings tab.
Apple ID. Herbie.allen@gmail.com.
So I'm still VO right arrowing here, and it's telling me the Apple ID that it is currently using.
Sign out. Button.
I can sign out here. If you've not signed into iCloud, then you'll be presented with a slightly different screen telling you to sign in.
Enable messages in iCloud. Checked. Checkbox.
Enable messages in iCloud. Be sure you have this box checked. Somebody did not that I heard of recently, and they had some problems sending messages with the enter key. So make sure this box is checked. And again, it'll sync your messages across all your devices.
Sync now. Button.
Sync now, so if you've checked the box for the first time, you will want to hit the sync now button. So it'll sync everything and get in line, but I've never had to use this button since then. If you feel stuff is not syncing up properly, then this is where you would find that button.
You can be reached for messages at
You can be reached for messages at
+1 832 693 5559. Checked. Checkbox.
Right now, it's showing my phone number, which is publicly available, so I'm not actually giving away any trade secrets here. Notice it's checkbox, so if I did not want my phone number to be reachable, I could uncheck it.
Herbie.allen@
Now it's giving
plus
email addresses.
Herbie.allen@icloud.com. Checked. Checkbox.
It's giving my iCloud address.
Herbie at management. Send read receipts. Checked.
And you can see that I have several email addresses here. So again, I could check and uncheck the ones I want. I do believe, though, that would affect all your devices if you have the sync with cloud checked. Next is send read receipts. You can have that checked. That basically acknowledges to the other person if they are sending an iMessage that you have gotten their message. That will not work for text messages, just iMessages.
When this is on, people are notified when you have read their messages. This start new conversations from.
Start new conversations from.
+1 832 693 5559. Start new conversations from. Pop-up.
So this is a pop-up rather than a series of checkboxes. So it will determine where your messages start from. If I wanted to change that, I could VO space.
Menu checkmark. +1
Or actually even just
832
down arrow, I guess. And now I can just do regular down arrow here.
Herbie at management. Checkmark. Herbie. Checkmark.
And I can check the one that I want with space.
+1.
Now I'm going to VO right, and it'll take me out of that pop-up window.
About iMessage and FaceTime and privacy. Button. Help button. Help button.
So that is what we need to do there in order to be able to send iMessages. You may need to also check your settings on your phone to make sure stuff is set for syncing and all that. And you will find out how to do that in settings and messages. Same for your iPad. Okay.
Toolbar. Set toolbar.
So let's do a VO home for our toolbar. And that again is Command Option or the caps lock key. Now we're going to see what we've got in general. Blocked is just, of course, for people who you have blocked.
Toolbar. Edit display image.
So I now went into that toolbar. I found it. I uninteracted with it. And now it's going to ask me to set up name and photo sharing.
Name. First, dimmed tech. Set up name and photo sharing button. Keep messages.
Okay, next one.
Forever. Pop-up button.
I can determine how long I want to keep messages. In my case, I want them forever until I choose to delete them.
Application. Notify me about messages from unknown contacts. Checked. Checkbox.
If you don't want to be notified about messages from unknown contacts, then you would have this unchecked.
Notify me when my name is mentioned. Checked. Checkbox.
Notify you when your name is mentioned.
Autoplay message effects. Checked. Checkbox. Allow full screen effects in the Messages app to autoplay. Play sound effects. Checked. Checkbox.
And sometimes it'll give you explanations after the checkbox. And again, you just want to do VO right. By the way, you can tab through these windows as well, but it does not give you as much information. Now, where were we at?
Play sound effects. Checked. Checkbox.
Okay, play sound effects.
Message received sound. Note. Default. Pop-up button.
And here you can change the message received sound. You are given a pop-up button. If we just hit
Aurora.
Down arrow.
Bamboo chord. Circ complete.
Hello. Go through
Input
the
keys.
ones
Popcorn.
I want.
Synth. Classic. Submenu. Ringtones. Dimmed.
And there's a classic submenu if you want the older text tones.
Anticipel. Bloom. Calypso. Chime. Choo-choo. Descent. Ding. Electronic. Fanfare. Glass. Horn. Ladder. Minuet. News flat. Noir. Sherwood Forest. Spell. Suspend. Swish. Swoosh.
Okay.
Telegraph. Tiptoes. Tritone. Tweet.
So you get the idea. And
iMessage message.
Now.
Record audio.
And if I hit escape, unfortunately that takes me out of the thing. One thing you do need to know. So at least on the Intel-based Macs, I don't know about the M1s. If you get a text message, if the Messages app is not open, you're going to get your default sound. However, if you have done custom tones for people, once the app is open, especially when you're in the app, but it can still sometimes do it when you're outside the app. I found it to be a bit inconsistent. It will play the custom tone you have for somebody, assuming it's a built-in tone that comes part of your Mac and not a custom
Preferences. General.
like
Tech system font. Help button. Cindy. Window.
Okay, let's see.
Preferences. General. Help. But help. So text. Note. Default.
And the only other thing we got really is system font. Next, how do we actually send a message? It's very simple. The first thing is, of course, make sure you have all your contacts imported if you want to be able to use that. But you can also do phone numbers. You can also type in email addresses. Now, this was a little bit easier for some with the older Mac OS versions, going back to Catalina. With Big Sur, there's a few differences with the interface compared to what some people are used to. I've gotten used to it. So now I'm going to send a new message, and I'm going to make use of a very universal command with the Mac, which is Command N for new. You'll find this works in a number of applications, such as Messages, Mail, Text Edit, Pages, and various other apps. Not all of them, but in most cases, if there's a new something you can do, you will find Command N, just like you'll find Command Comma works for preferences, again, for most apps.
New message. 2. Edit text. Is editing.
Now I can send the message to whomever I want. So I'm going to pick my wife, Chanel, here. So I'm going to start typing her name.
Chanel. Cha. Insertion at end of text. 2. Edit text. Is editing. Chanel Marie Allen.
And it immediately came up with the results right away. Already I know it's going to default to her phone number, but if I want to send it to somewhere different, I can hit down arrow.
Chan. iBug Jumpstart Mentors. Jody. Andrew. Chanel. S. Jenna.
And now it's giving me the different methods where it sees the name Chanel.
Chan. Close contacts. Chanel. Armando. Chan. iBug Trekkies. Ron Brent. Chan. Chanel. And Mark Chan. Blind Mac user.
I can now hit enter on the one I want.
Chanel Marie Allen. 832.
I'm going to hit enter on the phone number.
Added recipient. Chanel Marie Allen.
And it said added recipient. Very important thing for it to say, so that way you know it's added the person. If I want to add additional recipients, I just start typing in the next name or email address or phone number, and it adds them. Now, how do we get to the message field?
Chanel Marie Allen. Add contact button.
We do have an add contact button if you VO right, so if you're not sure who you are looking for, you can actually browse this contacts list. I will show that only if there's any particular questions on that, because that can be a bit confusing for people.
Messages collection.
And now we've got the messages collection. I can do one of two things here. I could interact with that and see our message history, or if I VO right.
Apps button. iMessage. Message. Edit text. Press Control. Option. Space to begin editing.
So it's telling me to hit Control Option Space. I can do VO space.
iMessage message. Edit text. Is editing.
And now I can start typing.
This is just a demo. Message. Period.
And there you go. I'm now writing an iMessage with my keyboard on the Mac. And if I want to send it, all I'd have to do is hit Enter. And it would make the little sound that it was sent. I'm going to do that.
Delete. This is just a iMessage message.
There you go. Now, if I want to go through my message list,
record audio.
Let's VO
Messages.
left.
Chanel Maria. Vertical splitter. Conversations. Collection. Selected. Chanel. Pinned.
So I've got conversation selection, so now I can just interact.
In conversation.
One of the things they've introduced with Big Sur is now if you pin a conversation that is accepted universally, remember you can pin up to 9 conversations, so they're always at the top. And then I can VO right to the conversation I want.
Mother. Connie. Sandhya. Mother and Chanel. DoorDash. iBug Jump. Cindy. Jared Reimer. Celeste Wheelock. Megan Eason. Riley Rose. Armando M. Okay.
Let's see. So now if I find what I want, so first of all, what it will do is it'll read the last message. So now if I want to actually interact with this conversation, all I have to do is a VO space.
Selected Armando M.
And Armando M is selected. And then I can uninteract.
Out of conversations. Collection.
VO
vertical
right.
splitter. Armando M. Armando M. Messages. Collect.
And it's giving, like the phone number and all that. And then I can interact.
In. Messages. Collection.
And then
Armando
if I want to start from the end of the conversation, I can do VO end.
Armando M. Okay. I'm gonna try to solve some technical difficulties since we're using a
There you go. And then I can VO left to continue reading, or I can turn on Quick Nav and just use the arrow keys. I prefer to use messages with Quick Nav off just because then I can immediately start typing and it'll take into the edit field. And if I want to start typing, I can just...
Cap S. Start. Typing. Period. Space.
Start typing, and I can also delete all that. Select all with Command A.
Selection deleted.
I've got a lot of my commands. I can also copy and paste into these text edit fields. So let's say you want to paste something from a website or a Word document. You can select that text and paste. And you can also record a voice message.
Out of apps button.
You do have to uninteract.
Record audio.
And VO right till you get to record audio. And then I can just hit VO space. I am just doing a test recording of an audio message on my Mac.
00. Stop record.
And what's really nice about this is I don't have to hold anything down, unlike the phone. I can just sit here and talk naturally. Then if I want to VO left,
00. 16.
it's showing how long my message is recording for.
Cancel recording button.
And then I've got a cancel recording button to the left.
Message. Stop recording audio button. Stop recording 00. Stop.
Now, what's the difference between cancel and stop? So cancel would completely get rid of it, but if I hit stop...
Stop. Send recording button.
Now I've got a send recording button.
Send recording button.
Or if I VO left...
Recording length. 36 seconds.
I can see the recording length.
Play button.
And I can play back what I've recorded. I
Pause
am
button.
just doing a test recording of an audio message on my Mac. And what's really nice about...
Play.
And we'll VO space to stop that.
Cancel recording button.
And actually now I want to cancel the recording, so I'm going to VO left to space on that.
Cancel
but
recording
otherwise
button.
I would hit the space bar on the send recording button.
Emoji picker. Record audio.
You do have an emoji picker on here. That is not easy to use with VoiceOver, and so we're not going to go over that. But I do have a demo of an app called Rocket, which will talk about emojis. A couple other little things
Toolbar.
here.
Search. Search. Conversations.
You can, search through messages if you're looking for somebody's particular.
Vertical splitter.
So now, what if you want to delete a conversation? Well, there's an important command you need to know here because it's not as simple as doing command delete. So I'm on a conversation now, and I'm going to do a VO Shift M as in menu.
Menu.
I will now VO down arrow.
Pin. Delete conversation ellipsis.
And I got my delete conversation.
Open
I can
conversation in
also
separate
pin.
window. Details ellipsis.
And I've also got my details here if I want to do things like add them to contacts or share location and all that. Just like the iPhone, you can do that on the Mac.
Hide alerts. Hide alerts.
And I can hide alerts.
Delete. Pin. Delete
And if
conversation
I VO
ellipsis.
space on delete,
Select. Cancel. Cancel. Button. Cancel. Delete this. Would you like to delete this conversation?
and I get a
delete
confirmation,
cancel.
I'm not going to
Search.
delete it,
Search.
but there you go. And the last thing I want to show you is something that's really cool and how you can copy either a message or an attachment. And both work
Emoji
the
picker.
same way.
Messages. Collection.
Because I think you will find it to be a very useful tool.